positions. And we have to have, right now we require 3 employees on each shift. The report that I give you quarterly shows the traffic that we have during the various hours, or the minimum number of calls we get are from midnight to 8 in the morning. So what we're trying to do for next year is that we don't want to staff it with 3 people. We only want to staff it with 2, and we want to move the supervisor around if we have extra calls for that shift. So even though we're approved for 11, we're trying to do it with 10 personnel to save on salaries and hopefully to reduce the contact.
And I mean, we're not talking last summer, we're talking about you were doing that during this last month. So this last month is between the sheriff's office and dispatch and detention centers, 200 out.
Yes. And between all of them, understand we still have the homicide case, which is still taking up quite a few hours. This in the detention center, we just put on a reserve class for the reserve class, which costs comp time. And then due to illnesses and so forth, is for the dispatch. But again, for dispatch for next year, what we're going to try and do is to, even though we're approved at 11, we're going to try and operate it at 10.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
Mr. Blackburn?
Yes.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Mumma?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Our next item on new business is under F. Would you read that, Ms. Jamie, please?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance amending ordinance 2010-64, the 2011 budget ordinance, and transferring funds within jail sales tax fund 03, detention center 6400. Whereas a need exists for additional funds in Carroll County Detention Center to cover the cost of food. And whereas ordinance 2010-64 is hereby amended and monies are hereby transferred within jail sales tax in the total amount of $12,000 and matters set forth below. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Carroll, State of Arkansas, Section 1, $7,000 is transferred within the detention center from line item 65, building and improvements, and $5,000 from line item 87, miscellaneous, to line item 23, food.
Move to adopt.
Ron moved it. Don second. Any discussion?
This one we're transferring within the same budget, but between categories. So we have to have an ordinance to do that. Now, next year we won't have to do that with the way the new budget's set up. But for this year, we still have to do it. So this is just to fund the food, I guess. The sheriff's feeding the prisoners better.
Well, the cost of food has gone up. Where we were averaging 62 cents a meal, it had jumped up to 80 cents a meal just due to the cost of food.
Any more discussion?
Sure, if I'm going to cut you close on when we discussed some problems with leaks and stuff you had on the building. Are you going to be able to still handle that?
I'm sorry?
We discussed earlier about some leak problems you had on the building and stuff. Is that taking that out of your improvements on the building?
No.
Just probably your problem on that?
Any more discussion?
Miss
Call for the vote.
Mr. Blackburn?
Yes.
Mr. Deaton?
Yes.
Mr. Flake?
Yes.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Howerton?
Yes.
Mr. McNeely?
Yes.
Mr. Mills?
Yes.
Mr. Mumma?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Swafford?
Yes.
Passed. Next item of new business is JP's comments, non-agenda items, please. Dan?
Go ahead.
As we close this year of 2011, I'd just like to say personally, since this is the general feel on the table, this has been a very productive year for the Quorum Court. I've enjoyed serving with each and every one of you and getting to know you better. Consider it an honor. Thank you. The second one is it's Christmas. Not that these are presents, because we worked hard to make sure the money was available, but we have some shiny new equipment out at the road department. I understand a new dump truck and maybe some other pieces. So I think we could go out and take a look at them sometime if we got your permission to go
Look,
take a look.
that's without luck. We got a new Mack truck that y'all gave us some money to buy. It took us all year to get it, but we finally got it. And we also in the process of purchasing a smaller loader and got 2 or 3 rotary backhoes to look at. Like you mentioned, without luck, we're proud of the cleanup that we've done and proud of what y'all give us to replace some of it. Ron?
I'd like to ask if we could maybe, before the next meeting or for the next meeting, get a list of the equipment that we have out there now, get an updated list. We got that list last year that was, showed how much was obsolete and worn out and old, and could we see what we got now? Because I know we've replaced a lot of stuff, and I'd like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and look forward to next year.
John?
You had a surplus sale, I understand. How did that go?
Come my turn, I'm going to tell you. But if you want to know now, I'll tell you that. We contacted Williams Auction Service, which did an excellent job. Saturday, November the 19th at 10 o'clock. It grossed $58,340.50. And after commission and all advertisement, it netted $52,113.10. Now back to JP's non-agenda item. John?
As we had discussed when we passed the 2012 budget ordinance, we had talked about moving some money from the sheriff's jail sales tax fund into the road department to do some help on that. I think I haven't talked to either one of the budget committee members, but I believe that within the next month we'll probably try to get together and begin the process of looking at how much we might be able to move from there into the road department. My feelings is that it would need to go into materials and not equipment, and possibly getting with the judge and his foremen about his equipment needs and maybe addressing some of those needs out of the CD fund that was set up when we sold the old graders, maybe tapping into that to help with some of the equipment needs. So that's kind of what I thought we would be looking at through the next month and maybe have some recommendations at the next meeting.
Ron?
That's one of the reasons I asked for the new equipment list, so we know where we stood on equipment and maybe be able to plan some for next year on what we're going to do. But I've talked to a lot of people about the roads, and I believe that if we put all the money we have in this county into maintaining and upgrading our roads as we need to, we couldn't afford it. If we shut the sheriff down, if we shut the courthouse down, if we closed Quorum Court, and all the money that came in went into roads, we could not keep the people happy. We couldn't do the job. So to me, as we start putting more money into roads, which we need to do, I think it's real important that we have a plan. We have a plan for what roads are the worst off, what we're going to do with some of these chip and seal roads that so many people are unhappy with. So many people that live on the chip and seal roads are unhappy with them because we can't maintain them to the standards that they expect. And as the roads get older and older, they get worse and worse. And I think maybe we need a 5 or a 10-year plan saying we're going to try to fix this road this year and this road the next year. And it may be impossible, Sam, but I'm just asking if we can come up with some sort of a long-term, long-range plan for what we're going to try to do on the county roads. I think it'll help you in doing your job, it'll help the road foreman, and it'll help us explain to the people that maybe your road's on the list for 2015, or we're working towards it, we're working on doing something with roads, and we need to finish up the new county road ordinance too.
John?
In reply to that, the amount that we will be moving from that sales tax is going to be such a small amount it's gonna be hard to designate it to a particular road.
I know.
That's why I thought maybe material.
What, I agree with that. You're also getting into, it's still the county judge's call on what roads he does. And if we sit down and come up with that plan, we're overstepping him.
I asked the judge to do it because it is his call, and all we do is allocate money.
Yeah.
But it will make it easier for us to allocate money and try to see other places we can find money if we kind of have a plan for what he's going to do with it. And he's not bound to the plan at all.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Now, there's nothing that I would like better than go to some people and when they complain to me about a road, say it's on the list for year after next. That will be took care of. And then, then they would be satisfied in a year and a half we do it. But now if we have a major catastrophe, if we have 2 or 3 bridges washed out and have things happen, the judge is going to change his mind, and then people are going to be madder than they are before. If you promise them something, then they don't get it.
The key is you don't promise. You say it's on the list. We hope we can do it.
I know that.
But
They're all on the list.
But right now, we don't have anything, and that's all I'm saying.
Also, you don't know who the next judge is gonna be and what he's gonna under the list yet.
I know.
Just a question, I'm sure I know the answer already, but you your foreman already prioritized your problems out there on the roads already.
We study him every day, but we don't know what tomorrow comes, neither do you. You may have a ditch in your road that's a foot deep, but tomorrow there may be one the neighbor's got one that's 10 foot deep. We try to work the worst places.
And like I said, if you come up with a plan, and it will get publicized, and everybody will know it, and you get a new different county judge or different Quorum Court members, you're going to have these people living on this dirt road that says, well, now, we was told 2 years ago that our road was going to be fixed such and such year. And that can all change. You can't make promises that you can't keep.
I've heard that quite a bit. I was promised that won't win. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, I said, well,
And they
it's
tend to
hard
forget
to
the
honor
details,
what someone
except
else promised on my back.
You've had 2 floods since then.
Judge,
Yeah.
we've heard what the ideal world is. So what's everybody else's feeling? How should we go about that?
Since you asked, I agree with Ron. The judge and I have talked about this at some length on many road trips, looking at roads, which I encourage all of you to do. I know that our judge is perfectly thrilled, or at least happy most of the time we got with the JP and take a look at some roads and do what he can. But we don't. I think we can meld both Larry's and Ron's point. You don't have to say this specific road will get done. You have to have an overarching strategy about, we take care of emergencies and safety first means that we maintain that we're going to go fix a road that's been washed out or a bridge that's been washed out. Then we're going to maintain roads to a certain standard and we're going to do as much as we can with what we've got. And that takes material, a certain amount of money that's set aside each year with a variance for material, a budgeted amount of money with a variance set aside every year for equipment. And that's the kind of plan. That's the only thing that would meet your criteria, plus, as Larry says, keep us out of making promises we can't keep. And to the extent that we don't have that, we should work on something like that.
Yeah, strategy, that's what
I agree. I think it's critical for everything that we do that we have some type of a blueprint that's subject to change, that to show the public that there is some scheme behind this, and it's not just helter-skelter. You get a phone call and that road gets fixed, and then they get the idea we just make a phone call and that road gets fixed. It doesn't work that way, but there is sort of a scheme to all this madness, and that a lot of variables are in place, and a lot of factors, a lot of things that are unpredictable, but there's an overall scheme of what you're trying to do. I think the way Dan structured that in terms of safety and access and things of that nature, I think that would be an important thing to establish simply as county policy.
Dan?
just anymore. It's the single most important thing, in my view, in my one whole year, and some of you have been here a lot longer than me. That's all I hear. A little bit about maybe one topic or another, but everywhere, I'm sure it's the same for most of you, at least in the county roads areas. And people are right. It's quality of life. It's safety. It's if you live on a bad road, you have a bad day every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And to the extent that we can make roads better in our county, then our county gets better overall for all kinds of reasons. So I think it's a definite priority.
John?
I'm sure all county roads are not equal, and I'm sure in the road foreman's mind and in your mind, there is some prioritization of the roads. Does it make any sense to make that a formal prioritization?
Not on a main road basis, I don't know.
No.
Not all your county roads meet county road specs.
Yeah.
But no, we don't discriminate against anyone. If there's a safety problem there that needs it, we work that first. And I listen to all the phone calls and ain't have to go down on there. So we try to take care of the worst problems first.
Another problem that we have on a lot of county roads is speeding. You get on some of these dirt roads in a dry summer like this past road, and you get some guy going down that road at 60 miles an hour. He puts up a dust cloud that's 300 feet high and blows over your house and through it. And every car that goes down there does that. The faster they go, the bigger the dust cloud is. And we have some speed limit signs set up, but it's very difficult for the sheriff to enforce that. These are all factors in what we do with the roads. Can we maybe fund the sheriff to do more enforcement out there? Will that work if we do it? Can we put up more speed limit signs? Can we put ditches in the roads to slow some of these people down? What can we do?
The smoother you get them, the bigger the dust
That's
cloud.
right. No, I just get rocks out of line all the time. When some teenager goes down there at 60 miles an hour, I throw some rocks out in the road so when he comes back, maybe he'll blow a tire.
But you know, it is a no-win situation for the county judge. That's like a gentleman that, in my district, that had chip and seal in front of his house for years and complained about how fast they drove through there. And it eventually, because it is a main travel road, was hot mixed. And he had been wanting that for years, and I told him, I said, you can't have it both ways. If you think they come fast by your house now, wait till you get it even smoother.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
That's right. No,
But it's a no-win situation.
Don?
Every county has that problem. I know in Newton County, they got worse roads than we ever thought about having up here. But, and it is a judge's call to try to do the best he can about that. But one thing I'm proud about our department heads, our Quorum Court. I see counties in the paper, like in Birmingham, Alabama area, they're bankrupt, trying to appease everybody with money they don't have. This one thing, we're solvent, and we got money in the bank, and so we're really proud for applying the horseback rifle project in the county.
And I might say this, a couple, 3 years ago, my company installed 60 miles of water line in Madison County. And I tried to get some of my constituents to go ride with me a little bit. Because now, if you think we've got some bad roads over here, now not all the roads are bad, but now if you think we've got some bad roads over here, go over to Madison County and drive around between Kingston and Huntsville.
I'd like to invite you to come and drive mine 955.
Yeah, let's get some help out there.
Somebody else live on that road?
I'll move we adjourn.
What about the judge's
Wait,
comments?
Judge.
I thought he made them.
We're not paying you.
Look out, Mr. Flake.
Richard Shue contacted me. They're needing some bell ringers for the Salvation Army. His phone, which is where he had called, I think. His phone number is 870-654. 5835. He would welcome a call to anyone that could help. He asked me to do it this week, and then I was home alone, I had to pass. I'd like to say it's been a pleasure working for the people of the county this year. I'm proud of the Quorum Court. You have all done an excellent job. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. May God bless every one of you, and maybe come in and argue again next year. Now, would you?
I'll renew my motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I thought you were done, so longer winded than usual.